Hello, and welcome back to MoJo JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the one and only Powerpuff Girls slash JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast. I'm Raven.
And I'm Allison.
I don't believe we have any upcoming PPG or JoJo news. We are going to be discussing the JoJo episodes, The Warrior of Wind and the Ties That Bind JoJo. Some big developments in those episodes. So, The Warrior of Wind. It sort of starts where we left off last time. JoJo is being choked by Wamu's severed arms, whilst Wamu also sends his atmospheric rift in the hopes of slicing or decapitating JoJo. He can't find JoJo yet because of the heat of the fire in the arena that JoJo landed next to. Carr says that atmospheric rift is too powerful for even Wamu to handle, but that he's such a proud and heroic warrior. JoJo plans to use a Haman oil trick and trick Wamu into inhaling the burning oil, but he accidentally gives away his position when he throws the bottle. JoJo calls to Caesar to lend him his strength and sends Caesar's burning headband into the air. Wamu cuts the burning headband into little pieces, but they're still on fire, and the bottle of oil being cut in half was part of JoJo's plan. He kind of inhales the pieces of bandana in through those weird semi-truck tubes. And then JoJo says that Wamu was a worthy opponent, but that he had a powerful ally named Caesar with him. Wamu partially blows up, with only his head left. JoJo goes to finish him off, but feeds him some of his blood as a sign of respect so his death is less agonizing. Some of Cars' vampire minions jump in because they want to kill JoJo and help Wamu. Wamu fires his own severed head at them and kills them with his horn. With the last of his strength, Wamu asks JoJo to drink the antidote before he dies. As JoJo drinks the antidote, Wamu fades away into ash, becoming one with the wind. And then Cars remembers how honorable Wamu was in the past, and he's sort of sad to lose him. Probably as sad as Cars gets. Anyhow, some of the vampire minions go on about what a loser Wamu was, but Carr skewers them all at once through the head with his horn. He says he will still fight Lisa one-on-one, though yet more of his minions protest and say that they should just take out JoJo and Lisa now. Cars kills them too and says that because AC/DC and Wamu were his companions for 10,000 years, he has no choice but to honor their warrior pride and keep his promise to fight Lisa. He says he will view her as a warrior and not a mere woman, and challenges her to fight at the Temple of Peaceburn Nina. It's sort of high up in the air. It's almost like some framework. It's kind of rickety. JoJo insists that he should fight Cars instead, and that Lisa is just a woman after all. But Lisa is ready to fight. Cars asks her to pick a weapon, and she picks her Hammond scarf, and he picks his light blades. Lisa says she senses no violence in his stance, which unnerves her. Cars disappears with his light powers, and Lisa says it's as though he's above and below her at the same time. He leaps out from a very, very small crack in the temple behind her and tries to stab her. But Lisa is ready with her snake muffler attack, which specializes in keeping her from getting stabbed in the back. JoJo gloats about her victory prematurely, only to see her then get stabbed in the back by Cars. She didn't defeat the real Cars, only a double disguised as him. Cars says he will not fight honorably because he is not a philosopher like Wamu nor a romantic. He steals the red stone from Lisa, then sticks his vampire armory on JoJo, who is still weak from his last fight. Just as things seem to be going poorly for JoJo, he is saved by the arrival of the Speedwagon Foundation and von Stroheim, who have a shit ton of ultraviolet lights with them. He's briefly reunited with Smokey and Speedwagon himself, but goes after Cars. He scolds him for not fighting honorably, and Cars says, basically, that he didn't get to live that long by fighting fairly. He says Lisa is still alive, but barely, and then for some reason picks her up and pretends to play guitar with her legs, which was very strange. JoJo says he's never hated anyone before today, but he hates Cars. So it turns out Cars is using that time to tie a rope to Lisa's legs, and then he threw it so JoJo would have to decide between fighting him or saving Lisa. Wait, she's that Lisa? Smokey starts to say. But that would make her the baby from the boat, which means she's... Cars then proclaims he'll walk up to JoJo very slowly and start fighting. Smokey thinks to himself that JoJo doesn't know that means that the woman he's trying to save is his mother. And with that revelation, we end the episode.
I think you were pretty thorough. I'm not really sure what to throw in here. I'm not sure how Cars made a double.
Yeah, that wasn't like explained. It probably won't be explained later either.
And then him playing Lisa's legs like a guitar. He seems like he's the least silly of any of them.
Yeah.
The Pillarmen in general aren't silly, so it seemed out of character.
Right, it extra seemed like it came out of nowhere from Cars. It's like, huh?
And then, okay, so why did Straight So raise Lisa? Because, I mean, it would have just been an extra child. I could see, like, Irina, maybe having some trouble, like being preggo and then losing her husband and then being preggo and then having an extra baby to take care of. But
Yeah, I could see how that could be stressful and stuff.
I could see him kind of stepping in and, like, being the kindly uncle type or whatever, but I'm not sure why, especially like back then, like just having, I'm assuming he was single. I don't know.
Yeah.
A single man raise a little girl.
I almost think the way would have made more sense if like Speed was raised. Because we didn't really learn a lot about Straight-So in part one, honestly. And
Yeah.
we're learning this backstory stuff in these two episodes. Then it extra is weird when at the beginning of this part, where they immediately suspect that Straight-So is behind the shit with Speedwagon going missing.
He doesn't seem like, yeah, like, I don't know. Even with him wanting to look younger, I was just thinking about this the other day. Look younger with the map, like to become a vampire so he could be younger. But doesn't he understand, like, all the other stuff that comes with being a vampire? Like, they've been kind of fighting this their whole lives. And then I'm thinking he could have like taken a mask or whatever without harming the other guys. Like he could have just ran off. And like we're gonna learn about this guy in the next episode, the commander that hid for 50 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it can be done.
Yeah.
So he could have done it without harming anybody. But anyway, yeah, he turned very quickly. So I'm just thinking he wasn't really a nice guy the whole time.
Yeah. I guess he must have been like super vain and shit too, but like we hardly even like get to see that aspect because he pretty much is just like, yeah, I'm super vain about my appearance, and then that's about all we get from him because he's like, I don't want to look old.
And then, like, he didn't have to have that whole standoff with the woman. Again, he could have, like, why did he come to New York and confront JoJo?
It was such a dumb.
He could have just ran, especially back then, tracking someone down. He could have ran off, been anywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
He came, found JoJo in New York, and then he took a woman hostage. I mean, it all would have just, I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah, he could have done literally anything else, but for plot, and so we know that there's more masks, we gotta have him show up, I guess. But whatever, it's still a very strange choice on his behalf.
Were him and JoJo? I guess they were. Like, they kept JoJo from knowing his mom, but somehow he knows Straight So.
Yeah.
So,
So
I just a lot of questions.
I don't know if he's just like, they're just like, oh, this is like Speedwagon's business partner or something. I don't know. It's not really well explained. I know there's a lot of questions and they really don't get answered well.
Okay. I guess that's about all I have to say about that episode, unless you have something else to say.
I guess I don't, except I'm sorry that I think I accidentally spoiled that Lisa was his. I genuinely thought that they had said that Joseph's dad had like married the baby from the boat. So then we get to this that she's the baby from the boat, and then it's immediately like, oh yeah, so that's his mom. So I might have fucked up in that regard, but
I can't remember anymore. I mean, we would have to just go back to there and look. It's possible it was revealed there because sometimes you know how stuff is told and then like you just forget and then they come to it later and
yeah,
like, oh yeah, they did say that at a certain point. But I mean, it's just like super gross because it was him, right, that was peeking through the
yes,
door to
yeah,
watch her getting the naked into the bathtub and
he was peeping on his mom. Bruh, how do you come back from that?
I mean, I'm hoping that they do tell him, but they may not tell him either. So because that's kind of where we're left. But anyway,
Yeah,
we want to go to the next one.
yeah.
Okay, so episode 24, the ties that bind JoJo. JoJo shouts, insults, and struggles to hold Lisa. Smokey wants to tell JoJo Lisa is his mom, but Speedwagon says it isn't the time. Because, like, it's bad times. Like, we don't want him, like, distracted. Von Stroheim is too busy fighting the minions. JoJo does a clumsy kick at Cars with no Haman. Cars mocks JoJo. JoJo distracts with his wordplay. JoJo lights a match and sets his scarf on fire. Cars takes a swipe at JoJo. He threatens to cut Lisa's rope if JoJo continues to dodge. JoJo jumps and swings on the rope. Cars cuts the rope, and Lisa and JoJo start to fall, but the rope is now somehow also attached to Cars by some subterfuge of JoJo's.
Him in his sleight of hand.
JoJo whips his scarf at Cars as Cars figures out how JoJo attached him to the rope. JoJo lights up with Haman. Haman overdrive! JoJo's Haman and strength are gone. Cars falls to the spikes below and JoJo catches Lisa. Cars vows to get JoJo as Haman races through his body. Cars scarily leapt up and then laid there. He kind of like flopped up and it was creepy and then he laid back down. Von Stroheim asked the soldiers to bring the ultraviolet light to finish off Cars. JoJo wants to get medical help for Lisa. Smokey asks why it was hidden from JoJo that Lisa is his mom. Speedwagon tells Smokey that Lisa is really named Elizabeth and she was raised and trained by Straitzo. She and Irina's son George Joestar fell in love and married. They had JoJo, and George became a pilot for England during Was it World War II or World War One?
World War One, because I'm not even because we're technically in World War Two now. I almost have such trouble saying both of those.
It is really hard to say. It was then that a zombie from Dio was discovered. So this dude stayed hidden for years and became a commander in the Royal Flying Corps. George figured it out but was not trained in Haman, and the commander killed George. After it was investigated, the truth came out. Elizabeth was told and she ran out intent on revenge. She killed the commander and was known as a murderer, and she had to hide, leaving JoJo behind. Irina wanted it known that both JoJo's parents had died. So I'm not sure if Irina did that to just kind of like maybe because JoJo might try to go find her. I mean, we are in the middle of a war and stuff, and like because she killed like a high up commander, like no one knew he really was a vampire, so it would put JoJo in danger too. Smokey is upset JoJo can't know. Haman was a curse, but JoJo used it positively. Speedwagon said it was up to Irina and Lisa to decide. Von Stroheim is ready to use his spotlights. They all focus on Cars. Cars had the mask on with the stone attached. The light would only help Cars. The mask blew apart and Cars' bones were visible. Kind of like an x-ray thing going on with him. And that was the end of the episode. It's like they couldn't get the soldiers to turn the lights off fast enough.
Yeah.
And apparently with the stone attached, the light would actually give power to Cars.
Yeah, like activates some like more hidden abilities within the human brain or whatever.
I mean, I guess it made sense that he would maybe have one of those masks with him.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, like, was he like mostly naked in that battle though? Because usually they're like
I feel like he had like a cloak, but that might have been before he did like the fight and like his hair reveal and stuff.
Oh yeah, I forgot about like that he it's like he took his little turban thing off and he had like really long flowing like almost bluish purple hair. He didn't really talk about
His big, powerful purple hair.
his new look.
Yeah.
I thought Speedwagon looked like a pilgrim or a Scooby-Doo villain.
Yeah, that hat though.
I really didn't like them kind of making Lisa like so easily defeated by cars. I mean, I guess no one could have seen him having a body double coming, but they kind of turned her into a damsel in distress.
Yeah, that was bogus. I was so ready to see her like kick ass and she's supposed to be this great Haman master, and then they're just like, oops, everything goes back to JoJo having to do the thing.
Yeah, I mean, she was like just such a natural with the Haman. Like she was always very graceful and like powerful. And then it's like, okay, she's just gonna hang upside down during this whole battle. Speedwagon also told Smokey not to tell JoJo and that it was Joestar business. And Granny Arena had told JoJo that his mom died. So I can see some reasons why, but I would hope maybe once the war was over, possibly that they would have told him the truth. But I'm kind of struggling with it because I feel like even him at a certain point maybe could have understand why she had to go hide. But then I could also see JoJo trying to track her down too, and that they were trying to protect him.
Yeah, I feel like though at this point they probably should have told him because he's like, I think he's like 18 or 19. He's an adult now. You can fucking let him know. Like, hey, your mom's still out there.
So I think if they don't tell him after this, like, it would really be wrong.
Yes.
I'm not sure why Lisa wouldn't want to tell him. He's not a minor anymore. I don't know. And then I'm like, she didn't seem to treat him any differently though either. So I'm like,
Yeah.
does she realize it's him? Does she know? I mean,
I feel like she has to know.
I'm just not totally understanding there because she didn't seem super protective of him or anything.
Yeah. I think she has to know. Well, I mean, obviously she didn't meet Jonathan because she was a baby on the ship. But like Joseph is designed, he's supposed to basically look quite a lot like Jonathan, except for like his hair, pretty much. And so he probably then looked like his papa quite a bit then too. So there'd be that, and then of course, she probably would hear the name Joseph Joestar and be like, "Oh shit, that's my kid."
Kind of like super tough on him at first with the training. So, I mean, maybe that's her way of like being a mom. You kind of see that trope a lot, like sometimes with like parents being super
Yeah.
strict with their own kids, and then I don't know, like I'm gonna be real nice to your friend, but then I'm gonna be a dick to you.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't like her in the beginning when they were training, and I
Yeah.
was like, what the hell is this?
I don't know, maybe she's just like overcompensating. Like, no, I can't treat him like any different than any of my other students
I
in this
guess.
scenario.
But I mean, obviously but hopefully we've got what, 2 episodes left
Yeah, there's 2 episodes left.
that they do cover, even though I guess they have to defeat supercars now.
Yes.
That they do cover it at some point a little more about like maybe what occurred with her once she ran off into hiding and that sort of thing. And why maybe she didn't come back, because again, back then I would think it would be easy to just like stroll back in 5 years later and just
Yeah.
kind of change your look a little bit and just say you're someone else.
Yeah, I feel like when they were showing the flashbacks, the only really big difference with her look is that now she has like a dark red lip instead of like a plain.
It's like she's just super fashionable now.
Yeah.
Sunglasses and crap. But
She had like maybe not the same haircut, but a similar haircut too. I'm like, you could have done a little better with that, maybe, to like disguise yourself. But like, yeah, if there weren't like a lot of pictures of her around, it might be easier for her to like just sneak back later, be in JoJo's life in some way, even if she can't like immediately be like, "Sup, I'm your mom." Be like, "I'm a family friend. I'm your aunt." I don't know.
And then when she killed the commander, I'm sure it didn't leave behind a normal body. Don't they always like disintegrate or something weird happen? So I don't
Yeah.
understand why they didn't realize something weird happened there, that he wasn't
Well,
normal or.
well, I think they said that the guy thought that it looked like she had set the commander on fire.
Oh, okay. But I mean, if he killed her husband, I think it was like the Speedwagon had investigated or something.
Yes, him and straight
It
so.
it wasn't necessarily that that's what the military had come up with, but I mean, if they could prove that he had killed her husband somehow, like maybe she didn't really need to run off, like there would
Yeah,
be at least kind of a reasoning there.
yeah,
But I don't know, they maybe back then too, like they might have just locked a woman up and not really given her the like a maybe like a man, like an actual trial and be fair.
yeah. They're like, it's the hysterias.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure it was super great to just bring like Smokey's pretty young and even like
Yeah,
Speedwagon's like super old. Like there's this epic battle and I mean, within pretty close reach of like bad shit happening, and they're just
yeah,
like they're within seeing distance. It's not like they're like with binoculars, and they're
yeah.
just like, here's this epic baddie, and we're gonna just stand here and like be.
Let's bring a 75-year-old man and a teenage boy to this fight.
Yeah, like they kind of did like a little bit of commentary. Like
Yeah.
they're given like a play-by-play.
Speedwagon is always there to do the commentary. that's that's his biggest role other than like starting the Speedwagon Foundation. That is his legacy. I think maybe, this was like a younger, maybe slightly more foolhardy Lisa, but then at the same time, like you find out like your spouse has been murdered, you know, you might want to immediately go out and seek revenge. Like, I know who did it. I'm gonna fucking get the bastard.
Well, plus with it being like a vampire, you just don't know.
Yeah, and maybe she felt like she was the only one who could take him out too. Since normal people don't know how to like deal with them.
And then he'd been able to hide it, I guess, pretty well for so long. Like he was just kind of dangerous.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand her killing him,
absolutely.
but I don't know. Like she went off and hid, but then where she was at, she seemed kind of like in the lap of luxury. So I'm just like, she could have maybe called for JoJo after a year or two. Like he was like, I
Yeah,
take it he was a baby. I'm not sure.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he was still a baby.
Like they all could have like maybe joined her eventually
Yeah,
or something. I don't know. 'Cause it's not like she was like living like a street urchin or something and barely getting by. And it could be that Speedwagon was like funding her life like, with his oil riches or something too. But
yeah.
again, she didn't seem to be in any danger.
He had time to train Caesar and train Machina and Logs.
Yeah, she had like servants and
Yeah, she's cute.
fancy accommodations. And like, is Susie like we've seen them kind of crawl inside people, but usually they don't live. Is she like the one who lived after having a vampire crawl inside?
I genuinely can't think of anyone else who does survive that.
I'm a little creeped out by her myself.
They basically, she was possessed.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
Yeah. So next episode will probably be the last of part two because we're going to be talking about the last two episodes of Battle Tendency, which are the birth of a super being and the ascendant. Ooh. So that's going to be absolutely wild.
So are we taking it this is the first time like a pillar man has actually put together the redstone in a mask, and
Maybe so.
I don't likes it. It was already difficult to defeat before, and we're down all these Haman fighting people.
Yeah. We pretty much just have JoJo because Lisa is incapacitated.
And why hasn't like Speedwagon trained yet? I mean, I know it's like kind of too late, but why isn't he?
It's like Will Zeppeli was like, you don't have the
Oh, yeah. There's some sort of aptitude or
he has the aptitude for it. I wasn't sure if he kind of just didn't like Speedwagon though, and that's partially why he didn't want to train him because it seemed like they did not enjoy each other. But yeah, we're not going to see Speedwagon kick ass.
Well, it just seems like it would be a good idea for him to have some common usage, and then even like her, like the Suzy Q chick, like it might have been helpful that she have at least like base level training or something in it.
Yeah.
Granny Arena, like it just seems like at least some. Maybe just to even sense it or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not totally sure how Haman works. If like you have to like you you're born with like an aptitude for it or you're not, like
Yeah.
you don't really get too into that, I don't think.
It's like it's these two bloodlines, and that's it, kind of so far.
Yeah.
And like Straightso, whoever he is.
Yeah. And Machina and Logs, who for all I know could be brothers. They looked pretty similar.
They looked like the Pillar Men, though.
Yeah.
They looked like they were like they dressed like them and like the same build, and I don't know.
Part of it is just like how burly Rocky used to draw all the men in the manga. So like they're all kind of just like built like that. If they're gonna kick ass.
But I just even like the clothing and stuff, I don't know. And I don't it's not like JoJo and Caesar looked like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like those guys to me they look like the Pillar Men. Logs and Machina. Maybe they're from like the same village or something. Maybe they had Pillarman lineage.
Perhaps.
And that's what made them good common users or whatever. Fighters. I don't know.
Yeah. 'Cause we don't really know like what came first, the stone mask or the pillar man. Like obviously we know that Cars created the stone masks. But like, did he build that and that's what created the vampires, or was he a vampire and then he created the mask to make more vampires? I don't think we really learned that, but like,
I thought it was that they were helping them to be able to go into the sun. So I feel like there was already vampires.
Perhaps. Much to think about. So few episodes left. Probably not gonna get all the answers we want, but
Probably not about the Pillar Men, but there better be some Lisa answers.
we shall see. We shall see. All right. Well, I think that's the end of our discussion here. Tune in next episode, which will probably be the JoJo Part 2 finale. That'll be the finale. We'll get to see some wild fights and all that. If you've been enjoying the podcast, it would be super great if you could subscribe, leave a review,
Share with your friends.
share with your friends. If you're listening to this on YouTube instead of your podcatcher of choice, though I suppose in a way YouTube is a podcatcher in some aspects, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment in lieu of a review, and yeah, until next time, I'll be the roundabout. Goodbye.
Goodbye.